So it looks like we are getting into the game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Atlanta Spaceship. We have Blaze spawning as our purple Protoss player in the, what I guess could be considered the bottom position. We'll call it the 9 o'clock. And up here in the 12 o'clock position, the only other spot on the map, we have Bartar, who is spawning as our red Terran player.
I'm kind of actually. You can see in the chat right now, or not in chat, but in game, they're talking about how they're surprised that this map was picked. I'm guessing he's referring to that slight PVT edge that there is. I guess I'll talk a little bit just about the map. I don't know it too well, so I'm kind of going off basically what I see. We do have that Zelnaga watchtower in the middle. We do have, it looks like, pretty easily takeable natural expansions for both players. And we can see that the map is mirrored, but we do have that one expansion down at the bottom, well, I guess not bottom, but bottom right, that they're probably, if it gets into late game, I can imagine them fighting over. And it looks like also the third/fourth bases are actually that half base with only 6 mineral patches and the 1 geyser.
That's right. And actually, that's really interesting to me because it turns... This map looks like it really is going to turn the mid game into a whole lot of conflict. And while that can be good for Terran, as the stats show, apparently Protoss like it a whole lot more.
Well, it looks pretty standard at this point. Bartar is getting down that racks and finishing off that wall with the just started supply depot. I love that. He's going to prevent that probe from getting out, so he's going to be able to kind of meander around in that base, but probably not be able to see a whole heck of a lot. Back over on the Protoss side of things, we do see now a gas look like 14 or 15. Didn't get the exact timing. No real indication of where either one of these players are going to go yet. We're going to really have to wait for that Psycore to come down and see if he wants to, maybe do something a little bit wonky. And actually, Bartar doing a gas steal in Blaze's base. I love that. It's going to actually make it a lot harder for Blaze to go. It's going to really limit his tech routes.
That's right, it will. Now we do see the supply depot is being constructed. Blaze trying to do a little bit of harassment there to maybe get out, but he is not going to be able to before that first Marine comes out. So he is going to lose that probe. Now tell me, Bartar has not taken any gas of his own. Does this mean he is going to be one racks expanding?
Even it appears so, and it's going to be right in Blaze's face because he knows there's no gases up, so he knows something's, a little bit wonky. I'm expecting to see that command center drop down. We can see now Blaze is scouting around looking for where that has been started, but it actually has not at all yet. The Marine finally does take out the probe, so if he's going to drop the command center, I would expect him to do it now. However, Blaze should know pretty much what Bartar's doing. This is pretty typical one racks expand right here.
It is, and we also see an engineering bay has gone down in Blaze's base.
Yeah, Felix, you're having a little bit of static feedback off the mic, so I'll continue here while you attempt to fix that. The engineering bay is going to block that natural expansion, so really, it looks like Bartar is going for a very quick expand play, and really, I think Blaze is going to have to bring some sort of pressure up against this. He's not going to be able to drop that expansion for any amount of time. That engineering bay is going to take a lot of time to finish up. He knows pretty much that it is a 1-racks FE, so I'm expecting to see some amount of pressure, possibly even a 4-gate from Blaze.
Hopefully my mic has been fixed. It looks like we do see Stalker working away on that engineering bay.
Yeah, your mic is rather staticky there, Fearless.
Uh-oh.
So we do have the 2 Stalkers right now. They are going to take the focus down that engineering bay in the natural expansion. That is going to allow him to expand, but if he does decide to drop the expand, it is going to be significantly behind of Bartar's of his own. It looks like back at his base, he is going into a heavy racks play, actually now dropping down 4 racks. So I'm wondering if we're going to see just a lot of Marines out of him. I have been seeing this a little bit lately in the TVP metagame. Just a lot of Marines, but I'd like to see Blaze really push out with these 2 Stalkers right now, knowing that's expand. Yes, the bunker is up, but I'd like to see a little bit of that poke and know exactly where that Terran's army is.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with my mic. Let me know if it's
Sounds good now. Yeah,
okay, well, apparently it was just glitching a little bit. But like you say, figuring out where these players are going to be going from here. The third bases are generally fairly easy to take on this map, and it looks like Bartar is going to be getting those 3 bunkers up if he can. And Blaze just trying to do a little bit of poking around, a little bit of a contain, making sure his opponent isn't getting aggressive.
Well, I really like this play by Bartar, actually, because it looks like to me that his whole plan was to force that early aggression. We did see that gas steal, we did see the Nexus block, and he's got to know that Blaze knows that that expansion was going down early. So I actually like this because now he's just being extra safe. He knows he has a slight edge. If I go to the income tab, it actually does show the Protoss up just a little bit, but with the double mules, they should be able to even that out. Still 4 racks though, no indication of tech past that, no add-ons of any sort. And back in the Protoss space, we do see that Twilight Council finishing. So, you know, what are we going to see here? Maybe Charge Lot Archon? Seems like a pretty viable strategy, good idea for Blaze to go, but we just don't quite know yet. We do see him, though, securing that second gas, actually now 3 gases, 2 in the main and 1 in the natural.
That's right. He is getting a lot of Zealots. No indication from the Twilight Council as to what's going on, dropping another gateway. And meanwhile, we see Bartar now starting to push out a little bit. One of the things that I like about Blaze's play is that he brought those 2 stalkers forward, but he didn't really commit to any heavy aggression, which was really smart considering how late he got his natural started.
Yeah, and actually, great job retaining both of these stalkers. It's really kind of a big loss to lose one of those stalkers early. He's kind of been cutting those Marines on. Needs to be very careful with that one, but it does manage to get away. And now we do see actually the upgrade started for both players. We do see Stim Pack and a +1 from the Terran player, so it does look like he's going to be on that heavy bio play. And there's the charge from VVV Blaze. So it looks like we're going to be seeing Charge Lot Archon versus bio. It's going to come down to control, and really, for Blaze, those force fields on those sentries.
That's right, and we see Blaze doing a little bit of aggression there, pushing forward. He now has 5 stalkers at the front of his opponent's base. Will need to be very careful, and as he pulls them away, really, I think what we want to be looking for here is when the thirds start going down. Whether it doesn't look like Bartar has the infrastructure necessarily to move from this into any heavy 2-base aggression. But on the other side, our Protoss player is starting to throw down another gate, and it looks like a Templar Archives and a 4th gate are on the way.
So we're definitely going to be seeing getting comfortable, and actually our observer, there we go, just a little bit of lag there. More racks coming down back in Bartar's base. I'd really like to see him get the medevacs up now, especially with that stim being done. Dealing out stim only once can be a lot of trouble, especially if you're facing up against force fields. Do you also see that Forge getting the ground armor +1? It looks to me like Blaze is really going to be posturing. A couple minutes, he's going to move out with a real heavy Archon gateway force. And actually, that was a nice scan. I believe, I'm going to check the vision real quick of Bartar. He did not actually see the Templar Archives, so he's actually not going to know, but he does see a Twilight Council, so he should suspect Psystorm just started now.
I must say, though, Bartar's composition is not necessarily my favorite. It is extremely Marine heavy, which actually might turn into something of a problem. He is going to take that forward pylon down, and he is also starting a command center down here at the bottom of the map. Kind of sneaking that command center.
Well, that's actually really nice because Blaze hasn't scoured that, and we do see that pylon now being dropped at his 3rd, so Blaze is not going to know this expansion is going to be up for some amount of time. We do also now see Banshees and Cloak coming down from Bartar, so I'd like to see him maybe get across and try and do a little bit of harass on Blaze. A couple Marines are now stimming up, checking that 3rd. Both players know that they are on 2-base. Neither one of them really seems to want to move out all that much. Even the Zelnaga Tower, I'd like to at least see one of them put a unit at that Zelnaga Tower, maybe spread out a few Marines, get a little bit more map vision, because right now, I kind of feel like both players are playing just a little bit blind.
They are. However, it looks like we are seeing Blaze start to move out across the map and getting his 3rd at the same time. Always a good deal. However, there are a couple of Marines that are going to be able to kind of take him off path here. But Blaze might actually work himself into kind of a dangerous position because he thinks that he is getting a 3rd, and he has no idea that his opponent is actually finishing first.
Yeah, the longer this goes on, I think the more it's really going to help Bartar, especially with those orbital commands and being able to get a lot of mules down on that. We do see now ground weapons level 1 and ground armor level 2 going for the Protoss, so he is really emphasizing on those heavy gas upgrades. And still, more Marines coming out from Bartar. I am a little bit concerned about that. It does look like he does have some Storm, or at least I saw a few Templar. I don't see them anymore. Okay, actually 3 Templar with enough energy for a significant amount of Storm. Bartar now actually with that group of Marines down bottom stimming into Blaze's 3rd. He now knows the exact timing of the expansion as well as sniping a few pylons. Here comes Blaze reacting to just a small Marine hit squad.
Are we going to be seeing a Storm? And it looks like we're not. Instead, the charge lots are just going to clean this up very, very quickly. Uh, Again, Barter's composition just isn't the greatest thing to be going up against this very charge lot heavy army.
The other really kind of unfortunate part right now is the Banshees. He actually has 4 Banshees now moving across the map. I didn't even see that many get built, but High Templar in feedback end Banshee's day very, very quickly. We do also now see an OBS coming out, so really that OBS Spider Sense is here from Blaze. That OBS is going to pop out right as those Banshees get there. And 1 High Templar already there. Let's see if that OBS scouts it. No, actually moving in the wrong direction. The Banshees are now going to cloak in and come in. And the question is going to be how much damage can do. 1 High Templar dropping, and they should be able to go to work. Oh, actually going to work on the Robo Bay. But I'd like to see him go for the line. He'll be able to do much more damage there.
That's right. 3 of 4 probes going down, but some stalkers are coming in with an observer, and these Banshees are going to have to pull out fast. One does fall, and it looks like 2 of them are heading for the natural. However, there are some High Templar here still, and we see a storm there does some decent damage to that Banshee. And
well,
it looks...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It just looks like the Banshee threat isn't actually going to be doing enough damage to warrant it.
Well, one of the big things about this Banshee harass, and actually the Banshee still in the main is still doing damage. Looks like Blaze is just a little bit discombobulated right now. He did manage to snipe the Robo, so no more OBS for a little bit. But really, that Banshee's kept him back on the base. If we now go back down to Barter's 3rd base, that is fully up and running. He really did manage to buy himself a good amount of time. I think I maybe would have liked to seen him maybe do a 2-prong. So while he's doing those Banshees, maybe stem a small group of Marines into that 3rd base of Blaze and try and get a few probe kills there. The more you can split the attention, the better. And look at the infrastructure from Blaze. He is now up to 9 racks, 10 racks, 11 racks, 3 starports, all with tech labs. He is going to be in a really good spot if he can get another couple minutes to macro. Double drop moving in to Blaze's 3rd right now.
That's right, and we see Blaze might actually be getting caught completely off guard because Barter is just going to be able to power out those units. His 3rd is fully up. It looks like he is starting a 4th and a 5th while we speak, and it looks like he is not going to be trying to snipe that Nexus, instead picking up and moving. A very nice little play here, and Barter, I must say, is really abusing this map. It seems he knows it very well. He knows he could hide this 3rd. He knows exactly how to be dropping, and we actually see medevacs coming in from the other side as well. Looks like a double prone drop.
Yeah, I love this. He's really doing a great job splitting attention. You're absolutely right. And I really think he has played on this map. He has a pretty good idea of what he wants to do and what he wants to do, which is probably why he picked it. Would make sense. Going back to the upgrades, we do see now level 3 armor and level 2 ground weapons for the Protest player, as well as extended thermal lance. So he is going to be going into class play, and actually the drop coming into the back of the base, unloading. It looks like the army's a little bit out of position. There is 1 Templar and 4 Zealots there, but that's not going to be enough. A great feedback on that medevac, but those Zealots are going to drop very quickly. The whole main army by Barter now responding at the same time. Another drop in the natural expansion. Great multitasking by Barter, and he's getting a lot of probes in that main base.
He is. The drop in the natural is cleaned up, and the drop in the main will be as well. And meanwhile, we see another drop coming in, actually.
Actually,
it does look,
quick,
though...
I'm going to interrupt you real quick, Felix. There's actually an 8 Zealot warping into Barter's 3rd base, so he now knows that the Zealots are on the run. They're going to actually turn around and go back to that orbital command and try and focus it down. Sorry, take it away, man.
No, that's a great catch there, and it looks like Barter's kind of falling apart here, actually. Blaze up to 171 supply to Barter's 142, and it looks like the probe line is congoing its way up to that new 3rd, but there is a warp prism sitting in the back there, and as soon as those SCVs get there, I'm expecting to see Zealots.
I almost want to see him go somewhere else, warp in a few High Templars, then go and drop them and do storms. Because of that PF, he is going to lose units there, whereas High Templars could pretty much get in there and do a pretty darn good job without taking too much damage. Great upgrades, though, by Barter as well. Infantry weapons and armor level 3 both. And again, just a lot of Marines. I'm going to do a quick look at the Army tab. It shows actually the Protoss is in a commanding lead with this massive ball of a ton of Zealot charge lots and 1 Colossus backed with by a few more High Templar. Blaze moving across the map, but there are 4 medevacs stationed by Barter up above his main.
And this is actually going to be a very scary engagement. I do like that he has, Blaze has warp prisms there, but it looks like the drop is going to be hitting in the main. Probes going down so fast, and it looks like he is focusing down some pylons here. Now moving over to try to shut these warp gates down as quickly as possible. But we do see the charge lots getting in there, some great storms, and this army, it might just be too big.
This is a huge death ball right here. Meanwhile, at the same time as that front, as we see the supply plummeting, Blaze is also denying all mining at the third base. Going back to the three front battle, actually now, the main army of the Protoss is moving into the Terran natural expansion, while at the same time, over in Blaze's base, it looks like that 4-drop medevac is doing a great job on the natural expansion. We're into a major base race situation here.
Absolutely. The huge numbers of probes, though, going down for Blaze, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, we have this Protoss mainly gateway army that's going to just be trying to take out the Terran base as quickly as possible, and then a ton of Marines with 4 medevacs to support for Bartar.
Well, Blaze really, I think, has the upper hand here. That's a really strong comp, good Protoss army, and frankly, with a number of reactors on those barracks, all Blaze can really do is go into a lot of Marines, which, as we've been talking about throughout a lot of the game, really you're not going to have, that's not the army comp he needs to beat this army. I'd like to have seen him get maybe a Raven, some Marauders. Wood's done a much better job on this army. We do see him now lifting off.
2 big storms going down and pretty much destroying that what Bartar has left. And I think that's going to be GG.
Well, he's down at 22 supply right now. Great catch there on those storms. Those 2 PFs are going to give him a defensible position to fall back to, but at 22 supply, I just don't see how he's going to be able to come back in this game. I think at this point, it's just a matter of time.
I think you're absolutely right. Now, there are a ton of barracks. It looks like so many barracks that they don't even have a room to land, but Blaze at this point is just cleaning up at 90 supply to Bartar's 26. Now, the real question is, though, it looks like Blaze has 2 probes mining to Bartar's quite a few SCVs. It looks like he has like 17 SCVs there. And if he can hold out, which I don't know that he can, but if he can with those 2 planetary fortresses, he might actually be able to rebuild a force.
Well, the Thermal Lance is really going to end his day. I'm fairly confident that can outrange the PF and get in there and do a lot of damage. And just, he's not going to be able to get the production up. I agree, if he could probably hold on, he might have a chance. The problem is that Protoss army is still 5,000 minerals strong, and that's just trouble.
It's just too much. Additionally, the 2 Vikings that Bartar did have fell, and so that Colossus, like you say, is just going to outrange everything. So I would expect to see a GG anytime here.
I think he's just trying to hold out, see if maybe, occasionally you'll get your opponent to do something dumb and, you can come back. He knows he did a good amount of damage. He knows that there isn't actually a whole lot. And actually, they are going to attack into that PF. Here comes Repair. I think he really needs to focus on getting these racks down with the Colossus. I mean, he's doing okay as far as supply-wise. Obviously, he's hurting with Harvesters. But just focus on dealing damage, keep those SCVs off the mining, and just contain him while taking another base. There's been no effort yet, again, by Blaze to go take a second base. I think he needs to reestablish at least a second nexus so that he's able to at least double produce probes to get that probe count. He's actually sitting just on 5 minerals, so he does not have a whole lot to spend.
He doesn't, and Blaze is now starting to bring his army in, and it looks like he is going to just poke a little bit, taking down a barracks there, and now it looks like he's trying to run the Stalkers around the side. Not moving that Colossus in, which is a little bit of a mistake, blinking back now. Now, one interesting thing is Bartar did land his starport and build a tech lab. Not sure what he's going to be trying to do with that. But Protoss looks like he is kind of pulling back. He's doesn't really want to get in there and engage the planetary fortress. Interestingly, Bartar has stayed at 22 supply, and Blaze has actually fallen to 87.
It's hard to move into those 2 PF, especially with any amount of repair behind it. The problem is just with only 10 Harvesters in the few mineral patches, actually now long distance mining, and Blaze is going to go back in, sniping that bunker. Again, this is the exact kind of damage I'd like to see him do right here. Just get in there, be annoying, keep him off guard. Another Rax is going to fall. He is down now to 3 Racks, those 2 PFs. Now attacking that supply depot wall. If those supply depots fall, that's a lot of money he's going to need to replace just to be able to build units.
It's true, and maybe Blaze doesn't know that the Colossus can outrange the planetary fortress.
I'm not 100% convinced it can. I'm fairly confident of that.
I think you're right, but either way, it looks like he's still doing a fair amount of annoying... Ooh, nice getting... It looks like 5 Stalkers there in the back, should be able to now start focusing down those SCVs actually, and that is absolutely awesome. It's exactly what he needs.
He's gotten himself in a really good position. The thing I'd like to see, though, is he does have... the stalker's actually moving in. He is going to go for the big engagement now. No repair on that first PF. The engagement was at great force fields blocking off, and he's going to immediately fall back. This is great unit retention by Blaze to kind of keep on the pressure without losing too much, as well as keeping a lot off mining.
And looks like Bartar is now supply blocked, and so there's not a whole lot he can do. Great storms going down, ripping that SCV line apart. And I'm pretty sure with Bartar at 10 supply, there is absolutely nothing he can do at this point.
Well, Blaze,
and I have to say, Blaze has just been so patient in not getting frustrated that his opponent isn't leaving the game, just kind of continuing to push and prod and poke.
Well, the funny thing is, there's that Bartar did lose all of his SCVs, but at the same time, that starport that you mentioned just a minute ago did pop out of Banshee and actually go there and snipe every single harvester by Blaze. He is down to 100 minerals with 0 harvesters. So he's going to need to replace some harvesters or just go kill him. I would definitely vote for the go kill.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, Bartar doesn't have, and I mean, he's got like, what, 1 SCV here, 2 SCVs, and a couple Marines. At this point, Blaze can just push in and overwhelm him without a doubt.
Looks like the Banshee is going to get back out also into the base of Blaze while Blaze is doing damage up to that plant, up to those couple racks in front of that planetary fortress, down at 15 supply. Bartar's really kind of holding on here. There is now, I believe, a second Banshee on the way. Yes, that one Banshee in the base with 11 kills, but only 5 hit points left. Meanwhile, Blaze is taking down another Rax, and, you know, Bartar, he's been doing a great job kind of stalling and delaying time, doing some damage, but I got to think that time is, once again, running out. He is lifting up those 2 racks and running. I hope he doesn't do the float away, because this game will take forever, as Blaze has no money. Blaze has no money to replace.
None. But, I mean, the one thing is that Bartar is not going to be building any more Banshees. He does have 2. One is at 5 hit points. The second is continuing to work on that Nexus. We have a Warp Prism kind of chasing that around. And it looks like Bartar is just trying to stick it out.
Well, what's interesting here is I actually like this. I just figured out what he's doing. He's attacking that Nexus. That Nexus falls. Blaze has no way of replacing his harvesters. So as long as that PF is up and maintains, and actually Blaze now kiting that with, or actually boxing that with the Colossus properly, if that PF falls, it should be GG. But again, if he loses that Nexus, he's going to have no way to replace those harvesters.
So Bartar is officially at 3 supply. He does have a refinery and a starport still sitting on the ground, as well as it looks like 2 barracks. He is going to be revealed. Now we do see a great storm coming down on those Banshees. Some nice little Warp Prism micro there. And it looks like the Banshee is going to cloak, and it will not make it out. And I believe that's it. We have 0 units for Bartar.
So, okay, and it looks like Bartar is going to drop the GG. So, yeah, that was a really entertaining game. That game went on for a lot longer than I thought it was. I really like Blaze's play, but I also got to give mad props to Bartar. He did a great job with those double-pronged drops. He had a ton of early damage. I also like that snuck third base. That's a great way to kind of throw your opponent off balance a little bit.
It is, and he was doing a great job just with that constant harassment. However, he didn't really have the composition he needed to be able to engage the Protoss army. I would have liked to see maybe some more Marauders in there. He knew his opponent was going fairly gateway heavy and just never built any Marauders. Concussive Shell would have helped quite a bit.
All right. Most
Looks
excellent.
like, absolutely. We are we getting into game number 2, loser picks? So we will be going into
Game 2?
Yeah.
Yep. They're setting it up right now. They're going to look at, they're doing the map picking as we speak.
That's right.
Well,
so,
you know, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, go follow us on Twitter, at SPGL. I'm at Ivy Fearless. He's at Remedy, spelled like you see it in the stream.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fun times with the name Remedy. Yeah, so PVT on that map, it's a very interesting kind of dynamic the way that works, because that double dropping really seemed to be effective. I like that WPF play, and the one thing I want to give to Barter is the manner. I mean, he could have stayed and made Blaze take forever to actually kill him, but he knew, and he said, you won. So I appreciate that, and I think all viewers do too. I have, we've all had. I think everyone's had on the ladder a Terran that slipped up and run away at some point. Come on, let's face it, it happens.
Of course. And like you say, once he was definitely dead, he gave a good game, but he really did stick it out. And honestly, I think that's something that we need to see more of in the StarCraft 2 community. People who are willing to just
No,
fight it
Idra.
out. Yeah, exactly.
Don't Idra. Cough. I actually have this theory where every single cast that ever happens, Idra's name is brought up at least once.
Right.
I,
Which is kind of a shame. He's a really nice guy. He's just that
hey,
history.
people, I have to say, people love controversy. They love drama. And I got to feel like Idra, what was it at the MLG where it was it MC and Idra, MC with the cutting of the throat
That's
gesture
right.
to Idra. Players love, people love that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff people eat up. So,
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
little controversy never hurt anybody.
All right.
So, okay, guys, you are watching the Semi-Pro Gaming League East. This is the first game set of 3 of the day. We are going to be going to game 2 after Blaze took that game 1.
We might actually not be. It looks like we are going to be. It looks like Bartar forfeited, and we might actually now be casting Blaze versus Vash, which is the next set. A little bit of a surprise there.
Oh, okay, yeah. It does look like it was a tactical forfeit by Barter to move into the lower bracket. So he's going to be moving down there, and it looks like Blaze will move on and will be playing STS Vash.